Good morning. Here's Tim.
Hello, it's me Tim, and that's Jim.
And that's me. Today we are going to do our first Woodland Review. So we are here at Hannah Park in Worksop, Nottinghamshire, to review this woodland. Our first category?
Our first category will be the parking and access into the place, which is looking decent so far.
Yeah, it's a small car park,
Small car park.
but it's free.
Yep. It's free, which is a big pro when you're coming to somewhere. And the access is quite good.
Yeah, we've got two little exits from the car park. There's one there, and there's one just that way there.
The only problem really is it's not very accessible for wheelchairs or pushchairs or anything along those lines. I mean, there is the massive gate there, but in terms of the regular access points, it's not the most accessible for those things.
But shall we go and have more of an explore?
Yes.
Right, we shall go and have a look what we think.
Hello. So we're here in the forest now. As you can see, we've got some nice trees over this side, more trees over that side, but we're here ready to give our first impressions. So I'm going to turn this back to James.
Hello.
What do you think, James?
I think it's interesting. I quite like you get different areas, a different feel to sort of different areas of the woodland. Even though it's quite small, some of it's quite thick and dense with some nice pathways through. And then you get areas like this that just open out, and you've got these really quite nice beech trees. So it's quite pretty, really quite a pretty woodland. There is a sound of traffic because it's small and it's near main roads. You can't really get away from the sound of heavy traffic anywhere yet that we've been, but it's quiet. There's evidence of little creative projects that people have been doing. We've seen some painted trees. Not sure I like it, but people are using the woodland at some point. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think one thing that definitely stands out is the nice clear woodlands, and the paths are nice and wide, and it's quite clear on where to go and how to navigate, and it's not too steep. The place where we are now is probably the steepest bit, and it's also the edge of the woodland, as you can see down there. But it is a nice place. But the one thing that does put me off is definitely the sound of traffic, as we are quite close to the road.
There's a real nice mix of trees though.
Yeah.
And there's different areas where, there's some nice areas of yew trees, and then there's this little beech forest here, and then some great chestnut trees. So there's lots of...
Yeah, there's a lot of variety and sights to be seen. But I think that about concludes our first impressions.
Yes, we're going to go away and do some scoring.
Yes, so we'll see you in the next one.
So we just found this little interesting place, kind of in the middle of this sort of deciduous woodland. We've come across what looks like a managed area of these pine trees, and it completely changes the atmosphere. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean we've come here on a nice sunny day, and immediately just stepping in, it turned pitch black. Really dark. It's gone really dark, and has this slightly creepy almost feel with all the lack of leaves and things.
But I think if you were kind of local and you visited here, there's enough variety, and this would be quite an exciting place to find.
Really cool to explore.
So we've just been having a walk around and thinking about the sort of wildlife here and the sort of species. I think it's kind of it's a nice place in terms of looking for, you know, different varieties of trees and plants. I think that's really interesting. There's some lovely mature trees and a variety of different kinds. What are your thoughts, Tim?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of variety there. On the wildlife point though, we've not really seen many birds or squirrels or anything when going around here, and we have heard like the occasional bird song, but a lot of the time you can't hear them over the sound of the cars. So in terms of coming here to see birds and squirrels, it's probably not the best for that. However, it probably does make up for it in the variety of the trees and the environment. And
Yeah.
that is partially probably part of the problem, in that the place is so big and it's such a big variety of trees. It might be in the wrong place.
Yeah, true. And I think you're right. I think it is visually stunning, and it's worth a visit just to look at some of the lovely trees. But you are sandwiched into what are clearly quite busy roads that you're not going to get away from. This is another of those little nice changes of kind of atmosphere. It's gone darker again. We have brought Foxy on our little walk today, look. He really doesn't know what's going on, but...
Hello.
Hello.
We started filming at the wrong time.
So we've had a good nosy around, and we've kind of like just explored, see what we felt about this woodland, and we're going to sum up now our thoughts. Do you want to go first, Tim?
Yeah, so all around it is a very nice place to look at and see the variety of trees and things. It does have some impressive areas, and like the video that you have seen before this, where we saw the pine trees. That was a cool sight, and things like that are really nice. However, for me personally, I think part of it gets ruined by the fact it's surrounded by roads, and you can't properly feel immersed in the environment without hearing a car drive by.
Yeah.
So you'll start to hear a bird sing, and then it gets cut off by the sound of a car, which isn't a problem for everyone, because there's a lot of variety of activities and things to do just exploring. So you can do that, but in terms of if you wanted to get out of everything and just zone out for a bit,
Yeah.
it lacks that.
Yeah, it's definitely not a place for stepping out of the daily grind just to sort of retreat back into nature. I mean, I bet people do use it for that, actually. You know, if you live locally. I think what I would say, if you aren't too far away from Hannah Park, and you do like exploring new places, and you've got a family that likes to go and climb on stuff and have a bit of an adventure, I think this is a perfect little place to visit. You know, it's free and all that kind of business. And I think you'd have a nice morning or afternoon out. If you're looking for day trips, anything like that, then I don't think this is the place for you. I bet it is a park that sort of like is used by local people, and I bet they absolutely love it. And in places I think it's really, really beautiful and really stunning, but there is that constant background noise that you can't escape from.
Yeah, but all around it is a fairly nice environment.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like you said, if you did live locally, definitely take advantage of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Just before we check out of Hannah Park, we're going to give you our final scores and our final verdict. So based on our 5 categories that we look at, which are entrance and access, first impressions, sort of wildlife, unique features, and then some final thoughts after we've gone through those, we have checked our scores that we have given it, and we add them up, and we have come with a score of 53 out of 100, so slightly above average. I am aware that this is our first Woodland review, so I'm going to pledge to Hannah Park that we will return when we've got more of a benchmark of other woodlands that we've visited, and we shall check it out again in the future, just to make sure that we've been fair. Anything to add?
I mean, it did do, as I was thinking, above average, because it definitely does stand out in some aspects.
Absolutely, agreed.
But 53 is not a bad score, so I think it's worth a visit if you're local.
Definitely worth a visit.
But if you're not local, it probably isn't worth having a long drive to get here. Yeah.
Bye for now.
Yes. See you in the next one.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Adventures of Tim and Jim.
And if you liked it, like it.
Yes. Bye.